Hey everybody, it's episode 375 again.
Hey!
It's Wednesday, October 19th, 2021. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
It's Tuesday.
It is. And Richie. Walnut, whatever you want to be called. I forget.
Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah, I'm here.
Richard T.
Yes, I'm here. I wasn't listening to you, so I wasn't sure if I could correct you any further beyond just it being Tuesday.
He did say it was the 19th, which is accurate.
Okay.
Honestly, I forgot that I said Wednesday even when I agreed with you it was Tuesday. I thought you were doing a Bombcast thing.
Nope.
Well, fuck me. Also, Rich, did you really not stop your Audacity recording? Am I just going to have to cut the first 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Man, what an asshole.
So I gave you the timestamp.
Oh, this fucking guy over here.
I did the same thing last week.
Oh man, last
week's
episode might be completely fucked because I did not catch it last week.
I wrote that it was like the clap was X amount of time in because we started and dropped before we even clapped.
Oh, like okay. Yeah, that's not as bad because there's only one clap, so it's a little bit easier to line up. Because I actually just, when I'm lining us up, I just look for that kind of spike within the first minute or so.
Yeah.
But knowing that you have two claps, I will have to keep that in mind tomorrow morning. How you guys doing?
Better this week.
That's good.
No longer fighting a probably sinus infection or just extreme allergies. Still having residual effects, but mostly fine.
Oh man. So, Drew, how was the Flyers?
Really cool. The seats way up top are really nice in that new revolutionary row. And the assembly room, which is standing room only.
Oh, wait, so it's standing room only, but they have seats?
So, yeah, there's a row of seats that is called Revolutionary Row. There's then also, a section of, private-ish, seating areas that also then have, a TV and stuff built into it. Looked pretty cool. I forget what those are called. They have a name. If I looked on the seating chart, I would see it real fast, but then there's just a whole big standing room only area, and there's I guess a bar is the best way to describe it, right behind the seats where you can stand and lean and put your drink or whatever on.
Is that new, or has that section been there for a while?
I think it was supposed to open in 2020.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yes, it's new.
I can't 100% remember if it was there for the 2019-20 season or not, but it's definitely either brand new or super recent, one way or the other. But then with the standing room only area, there is a shit ton of spots to just sit down. You can't see the ice from any of the sitting, but there's big couches and big leather chairs, fake fireplaces and shit. So you could stand up, watch the game, and then when they take the TV timeouts or whatever, go sit down. Or there was a whole section, I want to say it's the Bet Rivers casino area that just had giant screens showing the baseball games, Monday Night Football that was going on. I think the game that was going on, but the only time I ever looked over there was during commercial break, so I don't know.
Okay.
And just whatever else, and then you could stand up and turn around and walk 2 steps and see the ice.
That's actually pretty cool. Was it it was a good view up there?
Oh, it was an amazing view. You're not too far. It didn't feel like you were too high up. You're kind of over the last few rows of the upper level, so it's not like you're as far back against the wall as the last 2 rows of the upper level.
Okay.
But you can see the whole ice. We were kinda to the corner. I thought we were going to be more center ice when I picked the tickets, but maybe they didn't give me the ones I had originally picked or whatever, but we were kinda in the corner, so you just could see the whole ice without having to turn at all. But
okay. That's not.
And then we'll be back there
nice.
Tomorrow night in I think almost the exact same
seats where I don't have to look or move my head base. Just sit there and watch.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I drop off.
How much? If you don't mind me asking, how much were those tickets up there?
He does mind you asking because he dropped.
Oh, did he?
There we go.
Oh no, there he is.
So sorry, I didn't. Did you ask something after I said?
Yeah,
you're
all sorts of auto-tuned. I'd asked if you were how much the tickets were, if you didn't mind me asking.
It varies from game to game. Oh, god damn it. I'm just going to keep talking Okay, I was about to say, I'm just going to keep talking because it's recording. It varies from game to game. The game we went to on Monday was 65, 66, something like that. Thursday or Wednesday is like 80. I've seen it go as high as 100. The standing room only is only 25, though. So there's that. The hell was the thing that popped up?
Well, you know what? I'm going to rearrange this fucking thing then. While I'm doing that, what's on the agenda?
Well, on the agenda today, Cobb, I'm guessing you went and saw Halloween Kills?
I didn't have to go see it. I didn't have to leave the house.
Oh, you saw it at your own home, which is nice.
Yes.
But we'll discuss some Metroid while Jerton figures out his internet issues. We'll talk about Halloween Kills. Me and Cobb made it through episode 9, or episode 8 at least, of Squid Games. I made it through all of it, but we'll only get up to episode 8. Then there the voices, which I have no idea what that is. And then it seems like Cobb has just a random question to ask us.
Yeah, those things sound accurate from what I typed on this document like 15 minutes ago, because boy, was it a fucking day today. And all weekend. So I might be a little out of it. I worked all weekend.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah, so I haven't had a day off since last week. And then I was on site dealing with just bullshit all day today. I literally got home 5 minutes before I sent invites.
Okay. Yeah. I had to help Eric with his kitchen on Saturday, and then I had to bake and stuff for a party afterwards. So I was dead on Sunday. I literally slept most of the day. I was that exhausted. So I can understand how you feel being a little off having worked so much.
Yeah. But that said, what do you have to say about Metroid?
The game can be a pain in the ass sometimes.
Oh, fuck yeah, it can.
I literally, probably the last 45 minutes or an hour of my play session yesterday, I was just constantly yelling, where the fuck do I go? Where the fuck do I go?
The game tells you.
Because I was lost. I mean, it says go to your ship. But like,
yeah, you just need to get you just need to get out of the underground and get to your ship. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, but like when I ended, I just got the gravity suit, or just had or had it for like a very little bit. And the problem was before getting the gravity suit, you get the charge missile, the storm missile.
Yes.
After getting the storm missile and then getting the screw jump, the continual jump, the space jump. That's what.
Yeah, space jump.
I had no idea what the fuck to do.
So Adam does give you hints when you do go into those rooms and talk during the ones that you talk to him. But I think I got lucky with that part. Getting from the missiles, because if I remember correctly, were the storm missiles that was the Emmy, I think, for that section, right?
No,
or was that a separate
ice
boss?
Missiles, the ice missiles was the Emmy. The storm missiles was the X boss.
Oh, right. It was like the big beetle thing that then turned into just like a blob that you had to just blast away, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
And then the space jump was just a pickup.
Right. Yeah.
It was an on-map pickup. And what you needed to get the storm missiles in order to open up the door to get to the space jump, and then you needed the space jump in order to fight the Emmy and get the ice missiles. But then after you did all that, or you might have had the ice missiles before.
Yeah, you get the ice missiles before that, but you need the space jump to go back to the zone with all the water to then space jump across the big gap to the beam door so that you can then go through the rest of the underwater section. So I didn't know to go there to proceed with the game, but that one section where you fall through the water, I had fallen closer to that side and saw the door and tried to get to it, but couldn't because there was no way to get there before. So I remembered that when I was looking at the map, I'm like, oh, I wonder what the fuck is over here. So I went over there and it took me forever. I am very bad at underwater space jumping.
I'm not bad. My problem was I didn't I knew that there was a path there, but I just it completely skipped my mind. That's the way to go. You need to space jump over to that and climb up.
Which makes total sense. It was obscure. But
so I ran around in the area where you get the storm missiles, and I tried going into the ice doors to see if maybe you had to go through them even though you didn't have the gravity suit. You had to go through them, but just quickly.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I tried going all these different ways. I tried looking things up. I was like, I was getting so mad dropping my controller, throwing it, getting frustrated. This is fucking stupid. And then just randomly, I go to this part and just do the space jump. Because I think I also thought that section was how I got there at one point. And so, like, I didn't even think to go that way. And then I do the space jump, get over there, and then I get the gravity suit. And I'm like, alright, I'm fucking done for the night.
Yes.
I got the gravity suit. That was my goal.
So...
Great.
Yeah, so I had less issues getting there than you did. Knowing to get there, I guess. Because I was just trying to get there because I wanted to know what was behind the fucking door.
Yeah.
My issue is, and this was a long-going issue, I was very bad with the double jump. Like, just that little, like, extra jump you get, because it's very specific on, like, the timing for it. And I was very bad at space jumping underwater, because, again, it's very specific timing. Like, normal space jump, like, outside of the water where you can just stay in the air forever, no fucking issues. I can do it all day with my eyes closed. You put me underwater, and because there's 2 sections that you have to do the long stretch underwater to get to, like, the other side.
Yeah.
Both of them took me just fucking forever to get both of those done. And then I actually saw you do this on your playthrough. I want to say it was before you got the ice missiles. There's a section, in that one, like, kind of flowery area where there's all the platforms, but they're the flowers that when you land on them, they then shrivel up, and then you have to wait a second for them to come back, where you have to sort of double jump across a bunch of them, and then do like a weird angled double jump onto a platform that has stuff that hurts you, and then like double jump over them afterwards to get to like a far platform. Yeah. That section took me forever because I was so bad at getting the double jump timing for it.
The double jump timing is the same as the space jump timing. It's as you're going down, you jump.
For whatever reason, I was not getting the timing on it every time. But as soon as I got the space jump, I could just stay in the air all day. No problems.
I mean, I guess the space jump, it's as you start to arch down, I guess, for the double jump. But the space jump is as you're going down, you jump. So like the space jump, it has a little bit more leeway to it, I guess.
Yeah, and from what I saw online, like, I was not the only person that was bad at the double jump portion. So that made me feel a little less bad. I saw a lot of people complaining about the jump. So I'm like, okay, it's not just me. It's just the timing is very, very specific on that. And if you are off, it just fails and you just have to start over. I got very good at using the grapple shot, like, mid-fall to just zip back over to that wall that was magnetic.
Yeah.
But so you're up to the...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you're up to the gravity suit.
Yeah.
I think I'm through one more boss than you. I am up to a boss that I haven't actually played in a day or two. The boss was very hard. And not Kraid hard for me, where like I was just having trouble wrapping my head around it, like because I was trying to do the missiles the whole time. The boss has just a lot of different attacks that you have to try and remember exactly what to do to avoid them, because they're like there's a way around this attack. And if you don't do it, it's just knocking away like all your health per hit.
Yeah. There's. It seems to me that there's a lot of bosses like that at the end of the game. Like, the Chozo Warriors. Anytime you fight those, they're when they're in X form in Phase 2, and they smash down in the middle of the room. If you get hit with that wave, most of your health is taken down. In one hit.
Did you I actually saw you fight one of them on your stream last night. Did you fight the one with the shield yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So there's this is a very minor spoiler. There's another one of those to fight, and he has a shield. They all have, like, I mean, you saw it. They all have, like, a kind of a specific set of, like, pattern to them. Or not pattern, but specific set of moves that they can do.
Yeah.
I got stuck in a chain where it took me quite a few tries on the one with the shield, because I got stuck in a chain where he was doing a very specific attack constantly. Like, once you get to that, like, midway point where they kind of, like, freak out and they start doing, like, bigger moves. Right? Yeah. He had, like, I looked it up after the fact. He's got, like, 4 other moves he can do. And for my first, like, 4 or 5 tries, he was only doing this one move that is incredibly hard to avoid. And he was doing them back to back to back. So whereas, like, the normal routine for it would be, like, he does one of those, he does, like, a ground pound, he does, like, a dash, he does another ground pound, then he does one of these other moves. And for me, he was just doing those moves, like, back to back to back to back, and it was just obliterating.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can get lucky with whatever move they're looping, and you can deal some good damage and easily dodge it. And then other times it's something like that where it's like their loop, their random number generator for the ability they use or the attack they use just keeps looping the hardest one.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was an energy beam attack that goes to where you're at, and the timing for when it shoots and hits you is like so low that it's hard to do one of those like I'm gonna stand here and then move at the last second. A lot of times, like, I would try to time it and I would move, and then he would just immediately adjust because I moved just a fraction of a second too early and hit me anyway. I'm like, you son of a fucking bitch.
That's when you space jump. And you just
he hits you in the
move
air,
back
too.
and forth. Well, you just constantly, you don't just go in a line, you like go back and forth.
Oh, yeah, I guess. So I can space jump all day. I'm not real good at, like, controlling, like, staying in one spot, and it's a straight beam, so you would have to, like, stay against one side doing it, and I'm kind of all over the fucking place.
Is it a large beam, or is it like just a thin beam?
It's medium, let's say. Like it's not taking up the whole screen. So like if you manage to get him to like say aim it in one corner, you'd be fine to be like on the other side. But he also shoots it from the wall, so it's one of those like weird ones where when it shoots, it really does block off a good chunk of the
yeah.
And like the other possible moves that he can do, way easier to avoid because once I got a good pattern, I beat him that round. And even with a couple of these wall attacks in there, like it wasn't that bad because they weren't back to back. Like I had time to kind of regroup after one, and especially with the storm missile, where if you aim it, it'll just bombard them with a bunch of missiles.
Yeah, it's 3 missiles per target.
Yeah,
and it uses 3 missiles per target.
Yeah,
so that's one thing you have to keep track of. Is if you're using the storm missile and spamming them, you're going through missiles like crazy.
Yeah, so you have to make sure that you're not accidentally hitting things that aren't. Like that beetle thing, the X1 that you got them from, I believe. You can only attack him after he hits you, after he rams into the floor. Like anytime he has the electrical thing on, he's impervious to attacks. So if you had the storm missile for him, it's literally a waste of missiles hitting him while he's electrified. Yeah. I did think it was funny. Like I've jumped in and watched like bits and pieces of you play, and we play so incredibly different.
Do we?
Yeah, like. Every time I saw you go against the boss, you did things the complete opposite of what I did. Like, I think with, the room where you have to actually fight 2 of the warriors?
Yeah.
I was looping the whole time. Like, I basically just kept them behind me, and I would just loop. As soon as I would get a straightaway, I'd turn around, I'd hit them with a bunch of missiles, and then I'd loop again. And I would just keep doing that. Like, I'd get on a platform, turn around, hit them, loop around the room. So they never touched me. But you were more like, you were just kind of going back and forth and just kind of like dodging them as they came at you rather than like keeping them on like a chase. And some of the other stuff like the central units, when you get into those, I saw you, I forget which Emmy it was. It might have been the fast Emmy or the frozen. I forget if it was the frozen Emmy or the fast one. The one that you have to go across the top of the level and have him like follow you so that he crawls across the ceiling.
It's the frozen one. I only did the frozen one yesterday.
Okay, so it was the frozen one. When you were fighting that central unit, you kind of like jump all over the level to try and avoid the attacks. And I just stand right underneath of him and just sort of like jump and duck as the things come by me. And like neither of us are doing anything wrong. It's just we are literally doing it different ways.
Yeah, I when I play Metroid, I try, or at least when I played the previous Metroids, it would be find a corner where they can't hit you and stay there.
Yeah.
And now it's not that. Now Metroid has turned into read the tells, figure out where things are coming from. And so that's generally what I've been doing with, especially with the pirate fights. Pirates is like, what's the tell? What is he using? And I can, for the most part, I know which move they're using generally. I always forget about the counter.
I did see a couple of your things where like the flash would come up and you would miss it and then it would cycle back into the fight. I'm like, damn, he missed that.
Yeah, and so I was just like, shit. And then same with the Chozo Warriors. It's like, I'm bad at the counter with the Chozo Warriors. Because that actually turns into like a QTE kind of thing. Yeah,
you have to hit them like 2 or 3 times and it basically ends the fight if you do. I think you have to actually end the fight that way. I think that is like the end move is to hit the QTE basically.
I think so because the first warrior I fought, I didn't hit it the first time, and the second one came like really soon after.
Oh, actually, before I forget, I don't know if you saw my message on your chat last night because I didn't have sound turned up. Those blocks, the blocks,
The S blocks.
like
Yeah.
that are in the ceiling, the ones that when you're going across something and you can see the thing, but then the ceiling just breaks away because it's like the pressure blocks. You have to shine spark through those, I believe.
The press A.
No. So shine spark is, I think that's what it's called. You basically have to build up the super speed and then do the down to charge it, and you can do it while in a ball form. So if you store the speed energy and then immediately get into that block as a ball and hit B and hold the direction, you will super speed through it, and you'll go across all those blocks that just normally break out from underneath of you.
I was trying to. I guess I just mostly couldn't figure out how to store up the speed.
So once you
Not how to store up the speed, but where I could go. Like, you need a length of space to store up the speed. Like,
you can do it through doors. So it actually charges through doors. So if you find like a relatively good spot, but there's a door between them, you can open that door, run through that, and you will still keep charging. The catch is you need to find a spot close enough to the area because the charge only holds for a little while.
Yeah, the charge doesn't last long.
And there might be another way to do that maybe I just haven't gotten the ability yet, but that's the only thing I can think of to get through there, because you can do it as a ball, and that's like a thing in other games. Like it's called Shine Spark, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Probably some of those areas, the only way to go through those is to do that. Like, it's the rooms with the S's. There you need the screw jump.
Yeah,
and then the rooms with the X arrows, you need to have the speed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll have to go. Well, that's the one thing that drives me nuts about this game, is going back is not easy,
especially at certain points.
Yeah, like a lot of the game and moving forward is blocking out your path to go backward, which is not what I'm used to when it comes to a Metroidvania game.
It does, as you clear an area, at least, it tends to open up the previous area again.
Yeah.
I'm actually at a point where right now everything is basically blocked. You'll be there soon, but like they basically do something to all of the zones where you can't really, like, there is one specific path you can kind of travel through, and it's leading you to a boss. And then once you beat the boss, the zones will open back up. But that's the boss that I'm kind of like, I'm not stuck on because I haven't really tried it enough times to really do it. It's one of those bosses where I did it a few times. I wasn't having fun while I was trying to do that one, so I'm like, I need to just put this down, and I just haven't been back to it yet. But it's also a boss that it has one specific move where you can do that, like, hide directly underneath of it and kind of just shoot it with missiles while it's doing it. But you have to be careful because there's a real quick time event that if you hit it, you get to just pound away on missiles. If you miss it, he just does a bunch of damage to you. So it's kind of like it's a double-sided sword. You could dodge his attack a different way and not hide under them, and not be like in the range of that attack, but you're missing your chance to do a bunch of damage to him also.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know. I really like that game. It's really good. I wish I was better at it for some of these boss fights, though.
Oh yeah, I love this game. It's one of the more fun of a game that I've been playing in a long time. That, like, I think I said this last week, and I've told a few friends, like, I'm playing it specifically on stream, but there's days where I'm like, man, I kind of just want to play Metroid, but I don't feel like streaming. So I have considered starting a second save just so I could be like, this is my save, and then this is the stream save.
Which I completely understand that. Out of curiosity, the Ice Emmy, how many tries did it take you to figure out where to go to get, like, the shot to like the long shot to take out his faceplate?
1 try to figure it out, 3 tries to actually do it.
Dude, it took me so many tries to realize that I, like, to go up there. I was trying so many different things. That is one of the sections where I got really good at countering the Emmys when they catch you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect. Like, I still definitely get killed by them a whole bunch, but I got really good at the timing for that particular one. Because in my head, I circled through that area a bunch of times, but in my head, I just never thought to grab the magnet thing, go to the other side, and then let him come across. it never dawned on me until I did it by accident one try. I'm just like, motherfucker, this is the straightaway you're supposed to do this on.
I think it was the first try I even encountered it. I was like, okay, I got to get him up on the wall or on the ceiling, but I wasn't. And something happened and I died. The second time I was able to get his face off, but then when I charged and fired at him, I didn't hit his face.
I actually saw that one. I saw you do that.
So, yeah. And so it didn't kill him. And then he got me, and then the third time, like, if you are fast enough with changing your button pressing, once his face is off, you can charge and hit his face before he even starts to react.
Yeah, the timing is tight, and it's definitely, it's both being quick enough to hit the charge, and also having gotten your targeting on him very quickly when he starts climbing across the ceiling, so that it slows him down, and you're breaking the faceplate early.
Yeah, and so the third time I was able to charge, and I was able to break his face off, charge and fire it before he even started to change and move towards me after his face is broken.
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, I broke the faceplate up top, and then I slid down to, like, the underneath part, and went into, like, the little, like, alcove to the left, I think right near the door that leads you to the central unit, and charged up there, because it takes him a minute to come through there, because he either has to crawl under or go above.
Yeah.
But it definitely, like, it took me a while to, like, wrap my head around, like, oh, he'll follow me across the ceiling, I should just go up there.
Yeah. When I killed him my second time, I almost failed. Or when I killed him on my third try, I almost failed because my finger was slipping off my control stick.
I actually thought that's what happened the time I saw you shoot him in the chest. I thought either your finger slipped or you hit the shoot button earlier than you meant to.
That was more science. I had never shot him and them anywhere besides the face at that point, and so I just wanted to see, is it the face that you have to hit?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Metroid Dread. I might beat it probably in a week.
Yeah, so I'm definitely closing in on the end. I can tell just by, like, the way the map looks. And I'm only a little ahead of where you're at, I think. Maybe like an hour or two. So you might, I don't know if you only play it next Monday, I don't know that you'll beat it next Monday, but you'll probably be close.
Yeah, I'll probably, like, weigh, depending on how far I am, like, or how far I feel I have left. I'll weigh, like, should I push till 11 o'clock or should I just stop now? Do I want to be a completionist and go back and get everything, or, like, it depends. It's gonna vary. We'll see.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think I'm gonna get any time records, so might as well go get everything, just because.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. If I end up beating it between, like, now and, like, the weekend, I'll give you, like, a ballpark how much longer it took me from where I'm at. This way you can kind of go into Monday having a little bit better of an idea if it's worth you trying to push through, or if you're still pretty far from the end.
I appreciate it.
Like I said, I think you're probably, depending on how quickly you get there, I'd say you're at least an hour, maybe two behind me.
Yeah.
Because I know I did at least one boss fight after that, because I did the warrior with the shield. And I'm pretty sure I had the space. Yeah, I definitely had the space jump for that. And the gravity suit. So.
Yeah, I was so happy to get the gravity suit. That was my goal for last night, was to get the gravity suit. Because I know, like, once you get that, you can pretty much do anything.
Yeah, all of the zones basically become okay to travel through. Did, when you got it, did everything suddenly seem so much faster because you had just spent so much time underwater?
Yeah, you just spent all that time underwater in the water temple that, like, once you start moving around in the gravity suit, it's like, holy shit, you can move again.
Yeah, and it's weird, because it's like you're not moving any faster than you were before. It's just having been so... It was basically like going from playing a Mega Man game to playing a Sonic game. Like...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts. Drew, you still haven't gotten Metroid, right?
No, and I was going to ask, do you guys think it would make sense for me to even buy it having never played a Metroid?
Oh, 100%. It's fun.
Okay.
Makes sense in which way? In, like, not knowing the story? Or
it's true. He doesn't give a fuck about story.
Well, I mean, if there's giant chunks of story that I'd be completely lost on, that's one thing. If there's, like, references, like, minor references that are more like, oh, hey, you knew this thing, like, here's a fun little Easter egg for you because you've played Super Metroid.
That's more what it is.
This. Okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
there is a boss that has been a boss in all at least one in Super that is in this one, and they never make reference to him. They never give a name for him. There's no dialogue because this game is very, like, the only real dialogue is when you get to your computer terminal and your ship's AI is kind of giving you a rundown of, like, how fucked you are. But, like, it's just a boss where it's like, if you've played other Metroids, you're like, oh, it's him. That son of a bitch. Why is he still alive? Let me kill him again.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's also with him, if you've at least played Super Metroid, you'd kind of understand the mechanics of his first phase. But, like, not necessarily his second phase, but mostly his first phase. But you don't need to have played it. You don't need to have played any of them, because it has been, 10 years since
20.
Metroid Fusion? 20 years since Fusion?
2002, so 19, technically.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a GBA game.
Yeah, it's been 19 years since the last 2D Metroid, like, platformer.
So, yeah, it's been 19 years since Fusion, which this takes it's direct sequel of. So they give you the whole rundown of Metroid Fusion.
They give you the whole rundown of the whole thing at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's quick, but...
And also, like, we talked about that IGN video from a couple weeks ago that I watched. It gives you it's a half-hour video, full rundown of all the Metroid storyline, which is it's an entertaining and interesting video. So, on a story aspect, you're not missing anything. In a gameplay aspect and Easter egg aspect, I haven't missed it. I haven't been like, oh, except for that one boss. So you should be
and
should be fine.
Honestly, like, the two biggest things to keep in mind from older games are in Metroid 2, the GBA or the Game Boy game that very few people played until they remade it on 3DS. Samus goes to the planet that the Metroids are from and murders all of the Metroids. So Metroids are now extinct in this game. And the X are a creature that can mimic any other creature that the Metroids were created to destroy.
Yeah.
Those are the two most important things as far as, like, lore goes in this game. And they kind of explain that to you, like, in the game, and some other things are, like, hinted at for you to know, like, if you've played the other games. But
sure.
Yeah.
Story, the game is not heavy on story. It's more heavy on, like, lore if you've been following the series for a long time. 'Cause, like, even, like, your story bits when you get to, like, a new station and can talk to your AI, a lot of that is just, like, I don't get it why you're so fucked right now. Like, you're a bitch compared to these people. Like, they're just gonna fuck your day up. Like,
yeah, I just had a point where Adam, the AI, is just like, even in your best state, you're no match for this guy. You're fucked. Get off this planet.
But we didn't talk about this last week when we were talking about this. Samus, at least in this game, because, like, everything's more animated than it has been before, just such a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, she is.
So, Drew, the second boss of the game, the one that's a throwback, it's this giant dinosaur monster thing. You literally, Samus comes up to its, like, belly button when you're down by its feet. It, like, comes out of, like, this big room and, like roars at you and, like, leans into you, and Samus just, like, stands there, no reaction through the visor that you can see, and just, like, holds up her gun and just shoots him in the face. Like,
okay.
Just like, who the fuck are you? Like, back the hell up. Also, like, every room, like, she just walks into rooms. Samus's only weapon is her fucking blaster, which is also, like, her R2-D2 probe thing that will let her, unlock the detention bay doors and shit. And she just walks into these rooms on this alien planet that's trying to murder her and just shoves her gun arm into this hole to try and, like, get information and save her game. And it's just like, what happens when this thing blows up and your blaster's gone and you're just fucked all the way? It's like, who cares? I'm Samus. I'll be fine. I'm the baddest person in the universe.
I am hoping that they do a Zero Suit portion of this game. I don't think they do. But it'd be nice, or maybe have, like, an expansion or like DLC.
The gravity suit's really cool looking, though.
The gravity suit is I loved the suit for this entire game. Like, the base suit and then even the various suit was cool looking, but the gravity suit is great. I love it.
Yeah. But Drew, I do, and Rich, I'm sure you agree, like, I think this game has all the things you are kind of geared for in at least, like, action-y games. Like, it's got kind of like a roguelite feel to it in a lot of ways. It's got your Metroidvania style to it. It's very kind of old school platformy in a lot of ways, but with like some new twists to it. And it's got a little bit of like that Souls challenge.
Okay. I've been debating booting up Super Metroid on the Switch Lite, but I just haven't.
I mean, Super Metroid is one of the best games ever made. It holds up incredibly well for a game from 1994. It is...
Yeah.
If you don't like Super Metroid, Metroid Dread, very different. Other than the Metroidvania-ness of it, because it's the fucking namesake, so different. Especially because Metroid Dread includes the melee counter. That adds such a different level, because if you get good at that, you never have to really worry about health and resources between boss fights. It's when you get to boss fights that making sure that you're not getting hit and having ammo and stuff like that becomes like a bigger deal. But if you get good with the counter, which can be difficult with some of the enemies, like it just makes that it's not as visceral as the melee in Doom, but it gives me that same feeling of just like, yes, fuck you.
Yeah, like there's one enemy that is the bane of my existence. Cobb, you might know them. They're like little four-legged creatures that I can't get the timing for the counter, because they're kind of skittish, but they're also not.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Like, I die from them more often than I die from bosses.
I haven't actually died from any non-bosses.
I mostly die from not getting the counter right from enemies and stuff.
It's the...
Like, they're just...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The flying ones are the ones that do it to me, but I tend to like just take a step back, and because if I miss them on the first try, especially if there's 2 or 3 of them, I start hitting it too early, and then I just keep missing it, and I usually just leave the room, come back, and try again.
Yeah.
I think I know which ones you're talking about though, and their timing is weird.
Yeah, because they're so quick to attack, and they take so much damage. They're sponges. So like, I don't think I've actually killed one without the counter.
Yeah, that's like those little the little tank things that do like the fire across the floor. They're the same way. Like, if you don't counter those things, it just takes forever to destroy them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Super Metroid, Metroid Dread. It's a good game.
It is. Do you want to move on to Halloween?
Yeah, let's talk about Halloween Kills.
I mean, that's actually in like 12 days, but sure, let's talk about Halloween.
No, Halloween does not kill in 12 days.
You don't know that.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, you don't.
There is still a pandemic going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, COVID's still going around. I just got my my door hanger for whether or not I'm handing out Halloween candy this year.
Oh.
So.
Also, statistically, just people are going to get murdered on Halloween. It'll happen.
I mean, that is what all the movies have taught us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Halloween Kills came out. It's in the theaters, but it's also on Peacock.
Okay.
So we just signed up for Peacock for a month to watch it. For what it's worth, actually, Peacock right now is actually kind of cool. They have a bunch of Halloween stuff, including they have little categories on their Halloween page of all of the sitcoms that they have, their Halloween episodes. So like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of them. They have every Halloween episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine just in a little category by itself.
Those are the best episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Exactly, and you can just literally go in and just watch each one of them in a row. They also have like the Modern Family ones, The Office, Parks and Rec, Roseanne. Old Roseanne ones were also very good. They went hard with their Halloween episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. I don't really know if Cheers had good Halloween episodes, but it's on there, and that show was on for fucking ever.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway, Halloween Kills. It is the direct sequel to 2018 Halloween, which is a direct sequel to 1978 Halloween, and it ignores every other Halloween that happened between 1978 and 2018.
Okay.
I knew this, but also didn't realize just how much it erased. Are you guys are familiar with the Halloween movies at all? Vaguely, even? Like, it's Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes,
yeah,
that's about all I know.
Just vague.
Okay.
Vague understanding of it.
So, the first Halloween, Michael Myers tries to murder Jamie Lee Curtis and a bunch of other people and kills a whole lot of people. It's apparently in the second one that it's revealed that Jamie Lee Curtis was actually Michael Myers' baby sister, who was like an infant when he killed the rest of his family. And that played through most of the other movies. So Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch, nothing to do with Michael. It's totally different universe. Halloween movies were supposed to be an anthology, and no one liked 3, so they just went back to Michael Myers for the rest of them.
Yeah.
So Halloween 4 and 5 follow a little girl who lives with her foster family on Halloween as Michael comes and starts killing everybody and trying to get her. It turns out she is actually Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, and Jamie Lee Curtis's character had died off-screen in a car accident unrelated to Michael Myers. But Michael had been missing for like 10 years at this point after the events of Halloween 2. So that's Halloween 4. 4 and 5 are like back-to-back movies. And then Halloween 6 still follows kind of like that storyline where Jamie Lee Curtis is dead. Paul Rudd is in that one, actually. And that one you find out that like maybe there was a cult involved the whole time that is actually partially responsible for why Michael seems to have supernatural abilities to not die. And also wanted to murder his whole family really bad. That's a really bad one. Like The Curse of Michael Myers. Bad movie. But in all of these, Jamie Lee Curtis is his sister. And even in like the other reboots that they did, H2O and Resurrection and stuff, where they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back and they erased 4, 5, and 6, she is his sister. Well, they have since now just erased all of them. And
Yeah.
Michael went on a killing spree in 78, murdered a bunch of people, went to jail, got out of jail in 2018, escaped, or he might have been in like a mental institution, and tries to kill people again. Jamie Lee Curtis is like the shut-in who has like a basement full of guns and weapons because she's just been preparing for this psycho to come back for 40 years. But she has like a daughter and a granddaughter, and like at some point she tried to have a life and just it didn't work out for her. So this one picks up where that one left off. They thought they killed Michael because they literally just left him to burn alive in a house, and then the firefighters accidentally rescue him, not listening to the hysterical women telling them not to go into the house. He proceeds to just murder everybody again. But now, how many like slasher like horror movies would you guys say you're familiar with? Not have seen, but just like familiarity with.
Depends what you mean by familiarity.
So if you think about these movies, whenever there's like a killer going around just murdering mass amounts of people, nobody ever really seems all that alarmed. Like the people involved that are actively running from the person or trying to stop them are always trying to like raise the alarm, get the police, and they're always just kind of told like, ha ha ha, yeah, no, whatever, go fuck yourself. Like you're like, it's fine. Like don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen one of these movies where it actually seems realistic, where the whole fucking town is just going ballistic. The police department is just flooded with people, like trying to get them to go do something because this psychopath's on the loose just murdering people like left and right. He seems to have no actual desire to who he's killing. He's just killing everybody, which suits the name. But it was funny how, like, I feel like that's what would actually happen. If you went out and somebody was murdering people, as soon as other people realize that a psychopath is out there murdering people, they're all going to lose their shit. And that happens. And it was honestly kind of refreshing. Otherwise, it's a fine movie as far as, like, the Halloween movies go. I think the 2018 one was better. This one had some fun moments, and that's kind of about it. A lot of it just seemed a little too... rushed is the wrong word, because it wasn't like a short movie, but like nothing seemed to really get time to get fleshed out properly. It was just kind of like a lot of moving pieces, a lot of different characters. Jamie Lee Curtis was actually out of commission for most of it, which was weird because they played her up for it. So, but it's leading to another one. So they're making, so this is part of a trilogy. So Halloween Ends comes out next year. This one was actually supposed to come out last year, so it was supposed to be like every other year for the 3 movies. But COVID. So yeah. I'm hoping like the last one, I'm hoping this is just like that dip in the middle where like they just needed to get a bunch of stuff done so that they can then finish really strong.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably more of a plot building device than an actual movie. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like they're just like, here, it's a thing, let's have it, let's get it all done with so that we could have the grand finale of the Halloween series.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which was 2018 supposed to be like a sequel to Halloween 1 or 2, I can't remember if you went over that.
Oh, man, you didn't listen to a word I said, you son of a bitch.
I know you said that they, like, undid all of it.
So
but
2018 is a direct sequel to Halloween 1 from 1978.
Okay.
It erases every other movie since 1.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. I just couldn't remember. If
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's fine.
I know.
But it's...
I was schooling someone on D&D via text real quick, so I missed a little bit.
Man, D&D is not important.
D&D is important when GameStop is having an exclusive Funko Pop of Vecna, and he has both eyes and both arms. Vecna should not have both eyes and both arms.
I don't know what any of that means.
Vecna is a god. He's an evil god, and one of his eyes and one of his hands gets taken away from him, or he loses them in some way, shape, or form, and they become magical relics and artifacts. And so there is a Funko Pop of Vecna, and he has both hands and both eyes. And I'm like, he shouldn't have a hand, he shouldn't have an eye. And the dude was like, I thought D&D was just characters y'all made up. I'm like, no, some of it is actually written out, base information.
What a nerd.
That's all. I needed to school someone on Vecna.
I mean, the issue really is you were schooling someone on a Funko Pop, which really don't matter.
I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. I just wish it didn't have both eyes and both hands. It does look kind of cool. It's just... And I'll probably end up getting it, but I won't.
Man, you are getting
pre-order it
obsessed with those things.
I'm not. I'm really only collecting certain ones at this point. Like, I got a bunch, and now it's like any D&D one, Critical Role one, or just any one that I think looks really cool.
I think the key word there is at this point, you're only getting certain ones. At another point, you're gonna be going in the Hot Topic and just like throwing all of them on the counter.
Yep.
I mean, that was like a few months ago when I started my collection, and now, I mean, I think they're back to buy two get one half off, or buy one get one half off. So I haven't been back to Hot Topic, but there's a certain set that I'm trying to finish up.
The Golden Girls?
Target. No, it's the Star Wars set that they have going on that I want to try to finish up, as well as there's a Neon Marvel set that I want to try to finish, but I'm not going to get... The Hulk is going to be impossible to get.
It's funny, I'm
not even going to bother.
I have like 4 that I bought, but then a bunch of other ones that I just like came in 2 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't understand why I keep them, but I do. They're just on like a shelf. They're okay. I'm not offended by them.
Yeah, I mean, I used to not like them, and then people started giving me some, and I was like, okay, and I don't hate them. I'm not saying they're the greatest things ever, but like, Of the ones I have, I really only regret buying one. But the reason I bought that one was because I got that one was because it was buy 2 get 1 free on clearance, and I was buying 2 already, so I got that one for free.
That does make sense. I think when they were a little more new, I think that I thought they were more interesting then because it was actually kind of fun to look at like the wall of them and see what licenses they got and what characters from those licenses they got. But now they're so prevalent that they like you can just assume everything has a Funko at this point. Like there's not as much mystery as like looking in at like a convention and be like, oh, let's see like what random ass Funkos they have. It's like, oh, they just have all of them. Like,
yeah, I make sure that if I'm going to buy one, they either look unique, or aren't of a specific person. Because like I don't need to buy a John Cena Funko Pop because I have a Peacemaker Funko. And that's just John Cena with a helmet on. Like, literally, the Peacemaker Funko is just a John Cena Funko base with a helmet on his head. So I don't need to get John Cena, because I already have John Cena as Peacemaker. And so it's like, I'm trying not to get, like, duplicates of a personality, if that makes sense. But, like, I do want to, there was a Critical Role set from the first campaign that I want to get. I want to finish that off. And these Marvel and Star Wars Neon versions that I want to finish off. But besides that, it's like, anytime there's a D&D one, I'll probably pick up. And maybe Critical Role, and that's just if it looks cool or it looks like it'll be expensive.
I mean, that's valid. Like, look, if you like it, you like it. Like, I'm going to give you a hard time because they're Funkos. But, like, treat yourself.
I mean, people, if I were to sell my collection, I'd double I'd double what I spent on it. Right now. So I'd get about $1,000 out of it.
Wait, have you spent $500 on Funko Pops?
Give or take.
Holy Jesus. I didn't realize you had that many.
Well, I'm not really sure how many I have. Let me check the app real quick, and then we can move on. Where is it? Funko, collection. I have about 50, because I have a bunch in my car that I haven't added to the app yet.
Jesus.
I have about 50. And a lot of them still aren't priced on the app, so I can't give a full understanding of the price, but of the 41 I have on the app, I have $550 worth of Funko Pops if I were to sell them now. But like I said, there's a bunch, at least half of them that don't have a price listed under. Like I have a General Grievous. It's supposed to be priced at about $70-$80. It's not listing a price at all. So it's $600 right there. And then a handful of others that don't have pricing listed either.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy that those things are actually worth that kind of money to somebody.
Look, the hardest ones to get are the anime ones because they make so little of them, and they are worth money. I gotta find, I don't know in what chat there was, but there was a pop that was worth close to $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have no idea why. Like I have like I have like text message chat and Instagram chat with a buddy, and I can't remember if he sent it on which one. Otherwise, I would look it was I think it was on Messenger or on text. I think it was the Holo series, Star Wars, Darth Sidious maybe, or Darth Maul. It's close to $1,000 for that.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts. But like I bought, because he showed me that, I bought the Holo Mandalorian, and it was, let's see, holographic Emperor is priced at $70. Holographic Vader is priced at $770. That's what holographic Qui-Gon Jinn is priced at $70. Oh, here we go. And I will send this picture to you guys. Holographic Darth Maul, $5,450.
Holy shit.
And that's all listed on the Funko app, which they use a third-party site. So they're a reseller. That's how much it last sold for. And then there's a Holo Ashoka for $65. So because I bought this Holo Mandalorian, which I believe I bought, I haven't got yet because it hasn't come in. I paid $15, $20 for it. Probably worth $60, $70, $80.
Those things are that's absurd. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Funko game. Sometimes you strike gold, and sometimes you just collect because you think it looks cool.
My problem with a lot of it is far too many people are buying them like speculatively. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy this just because it'll be worth something later. It's like, I mean, artificially inflating the value of them.
And that's what's going on with Pokemon cards right now.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards are worth so much because so many people are buying them because they're worth so much. Like, and that's what they were like back in the day. Like, the reason I still have my collection is because my dad said, don't get rid of those. Those are going to be worth money someday. And that's why I kept getting them, is because not as much for the collection, but more because I was having shitty pulls and I was terrible at the card game. It was, I needed it for the collection for my retirement fund. Like, and yeah, my cards ain't worth shit because I never got anything good. So it's just, it's what people with very high amounts of expendable income do. They buy stuff because it might be worth more money. Well, not very high amounts of expendable income. I'm talking like middle-class people with expendable income. That's probably a better way to put it. They buy things for the future.
Holy shit.
I should sell the CM Punk pop I have.
Well, that's a signed one. Oh, the second one's not, though. Shit.
No. And then even other spots, I sell it for like 300 something.
If you have, I have a Leslie Knope from when she was doing the filibuster episode, and she's in the roller skates. I got that on clearance for like $6, and it's not priced on the app, but it's worth at least $100.
Also, for everyone that wasn't able to see the picture, Drew sent a picture of an eBay listing for a CM Punk Funko that was $500 signed, or $800 signed, $500 unsigned.
Yeah, I have the Hot Topic variant pink and black CM Punk from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, if you need an extra $500, you know how to get it.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, why do you think I bought that comic when I got it signed by Stan Lee? So that eventually I could sell it and make a lot of money.
That's not worth that much money.
If I can ever sell it to make $700, that pays back that weekend, I'll be happy.
I don't think that comic will be worth that much. You could probably get like $200 for it, though.
No, I've priced it before.
You know, maybe it might you might be able to get it now since he's passed, but I don't know. I forget what it was rated, but isn't it rated like a 4 or a 5?
Yeah, it's a 4.
Yeah, that's why I don't think you'll ever get that high for it. Like Stan Lee signed a lot of comics in like the 80s and 90s when no one wanted to get autographs really, except for like the hardcore fans. So like his autograph's not that rare.
I know. I'm not. That's why like I'm not basing on how much it's worth over his signature. I mean, right now. Like, I know right now his signature's still not worth a lot because he just passed away, even though it was a couple years ago. But 10, 15 years from now, when things might be a little bit more scarce because things are getting lost, sold, stolen, whatever, it might be worth more money.
I mean, it's always possible.
And it's a comic book that's not taking up a lot of value. Or, not, I mean, not a lot of value, not a lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fair thing to say.
It's one thing for me to be like, I'm going to sell this comic when it's worth $700. It doesn't take a lot of space. Then I'm going to sell all these Funko Pops that are taking up so much space. Like, these are being used as a collection. They're going to be used as a backdrop for streaming and in my office eventually. For now, they're just in my living room because I don't really have much where else to.
That's, yeah. But Rich.
Yes.
What have you thought of the first 7 episodes of Squid Games? And Drew too, I doubt you've watched it, but if you have.
I have not.
8 episodes. We made it through 8 episodes.
I thought I only made it through 7.
You said the bridge episode, right?
Which was episode 7, I think.
That was... Maybe it was... You know what? You're right. It was episode 7.
Because we were talking before, there is a half-hour episode and like a 40-minute episode after that.
Yeah, it's like a half hour and like a 50-something, 55-minute. You definitely could have finished it that night. But it's fine. I don't think it's as revolutionary as people are saying it is. It's definitely not, in my opinion, living up to the hype. It's nothing super fantastic. I get extreme Battle Royale vibes from it. And like, if you want to watch something that's crazy, watch Battle Royale. Like, it's the original Squid Games. It's the original fucking Hunger Games. Like, it's people, I guess, I don't know, it's just, it seems to be being put on this high pedestal because it's something they've never thought of before. But we've seen a similar idea for this in so many other mediums, especially in the nerd world. And from, like, Asia in general, that, like, this isn't that mind-blowingly fantastic as everyone is making it.
I agree. Like, I think it's entertaining. Like, I've been entertained by every episode, but I don't have this, like, need to watch every single episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, like, I watched the first 2 episodes and had to kind of force myself to watch the next one a week later. And the only reason I watched them all, I watched episode 3 through 9 in one sitting, is because I wasn't doing anything else. I didn't feel all that good, but I wasn't tired enough to go to sleep, so I watched Squid Games. And for the most part, a lot of the show can be summed down to kind of boring, but also interesting. And like, if you don't pay attention at certain points, you're gonna miss some things. And it's just like, it also makes you start off hating the lead character, but then throughout the show, and I'm sure you got this too by episode 7, you start to like see that he is a better person than he is made out to be at the beginning.
Yeah, like I want to say it's episode 6 is the Marvel episode, and like,
yeah, that
one really did suck because that was like everyone teamed up. They thought it was like an actual team thing, and then it turned and like he did like they were all going to leave the old man to just fucking basically die by himself, and he gave up being on a different team to be with the old man, and then found out that it was actually like a competition against each other.
Yeah, but then even during that episode, you're like, well, he's messing with this old man's head and shit, and like he kind of sucks, but at the same time, I sympathize and probably would have done the same thing as he did.
Yeah,
because of how the old man was acting. Like, episode 2, you find out that the old man's like, look, I don't have long to live, so I just want to see how this goes. And it's like, that was going through his head when he was doing what he was doing. When the lead character, his name's Sunkook, right? No.
I am really bad with all of the names, but I know who you're talking about, like the lead character that he is telling the story at the beginning about what Squid Game is, like in the very first episode.
And like, so the main character that you follow throughout the show, like, he's doing what he needs to survive, and it's fine. Like, everyone would do the same thing if they were in that boat, like, especially with the scenario that was going on with him. But the voiceover is so bad. The dubbing is so bad. It makes I had people who said like they didn't realize that there was dubbing, that they thought it was all subtitled. And I've read subtitles are off. Dubbing is not that great. And it's a lose-lose situation because you listen to the dubbing and this guy sounds like a whiny little bitch at the beginning of this show. But he's not supposed to be a whiny little bitch. He's not. But he was dubbed in that fashion.
Yeah, you know what's...
Which made me hate him more.
You know what's funny? I like his dub voice actor, but not necessarily how he's how the character's being used. The dub voice actor is actually the lead dub voice actor for Judgment. That is it's Takami's voice in Judgment, the main character you play as. So like I'm used to hearing his voice constantly from that game, and it took me a few minutes to like realize it. And the actor doesn't look a ton like him, but like similar features, like with like the hair length and stuff like that. That like when it clicked, I'm just like, fuck, that's who that is, right? But then yeah, he is kind of like whiny and meh the whole time.
Yeah, and like he gets better throughout the series. He does. And maybe the dubbing does get a little bit better, but overall it was bad. And so it's just, I feel like, and I'm gonna say, it's the same thing as what happened with, Demon Slayer. There's a lot of people out there that are seeing this, and because they're stuck inside for so long, deciding to watch that because they don't have anything else to watch. And it's like, it's expanding their horizons to anime or to Korean, movies and such. But this is not the best. Demon Slayer was a good anime. It wasn't groundbreaking and amazing like you said, Cobb, like a bunch of other people have said. I thought it was good. I thought it was enjoyable. I didn't think it was amazing like I know a ton of people have said, and it's the same with Squid Game. It's good. It's fine. It's entertaining. But it's not like blow your brains out, pun intended, amazing.
Yeah, and like I really like Demon Slayer. I think Demon Slayer is a really cool concept. I think the animation is amazing for it. I really like the story. I can understand if like all those things didn't hit for you the same way, but I definitely agree with you as far as like Squid Game goes. I'm entertained. It's not a show that I've wanted to watch more than like one episode at a time. Like I haven't felt that like that like compellingness to go back and like, all right, I need to see the next episode the way I have with some other stuff that we've watched. And like as far as like streaming original stuff like that have come out recently, I'd much rather watch Midnight Mass or Only Murders in the Building or like some of these other shows that we've been watching recently over Squid Game.
Yeah.
Though I am getting, at least in the last couple of episodes that I've seen, they were getting a little more behind the scenes, I guess you'd say, with like the group that's actually putting this stuff on. And
yeah.
That I'm a little interested in. Like I'm curious, like this guy who's kind of like undercover that's like not one of them, and seeing all the rich people just like sitting around like drinking and like enjoying the show during the bridge episode. I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird. Like what is actually going on back here?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean it's and those aspects of the show are like, it is interesting, but like I'll say that one thing I thought was kind of a waste, and really they didn't have to. I feel like they could have done a better story besides this like horrible lazy B story of, or even like C or D story of black market organs. Like that was, to me, that felt so lazy. And like everything they did with that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like when they started doing that, I'm like, okay, so that's like the catch here is they're not doing this for free. They're actually selling off these organs after they murder everybody, and that's how they have all this money to throw around. And then you find out like, oh no, it's actually just a bunch of like creepy rich sociopaths that want to watch like poor people murder each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like the whole black market thing had nothing to do with anything except it was a method to get the cop noticed, and it was just like they could have done better. They could have like some of this they could have written and done better, and some I wish they had done better with the dubbing. But yeah, I mean overall, like I'm not gonna tell people to not watch it, but it's also not a thing that I'm going to be like, you have to watch this. This is really good.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. So, Drew,
Yeah,
you should really watch Squid Game, Drew. Right up your alley. Everything you like about scripted television is in this show.
Yeah, no, probably not.
I mean, I'll also go out and say that I went into this a little bitter because I had a portion of it spoiled for me, and I was not happy about that.
Man, just stop giving a shit about spoilers.
No, I mean this little portion, although it is small, it is big. Like, it doesn't play a major thing, but it doesn't, but it also does. Like, it's hard to explain without saying what was spoiled to me. And so, like, we'll get into it next week after Cobb finishes it, I'm sure. But it's just like, that kind of ruined it for me as well, knowing this little aspect.
I can understand that just because of the way this show handles things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's Squid Game. I lost everything. All the documents are just gone right now.
Voices. You watched The Voices.
Yes.
Next.
So it's a movie. It's apparently from 2017. I'm sorry, 2015. I don't know why I said 2017. 2015.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So it's starring Ryan Reynolds and Anna Kendrick. Just never fucking heard of this before.
No, neither have I. Actually, according to Google, it's 2014.
So it looks like it was released at like a film festival in 2014, but released wide 2015, I think is what I figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what
it
it
says.
looks like.
So Ryan Reynolds has schizophrenia, and it manifests in his dog and his cat talking to him. And basically his dog is all of like his good thoughts and intentions, and his cat is all of his bad, aggressive, like murderous intentions.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
And I guess it's not super well fleshed out in the movie, but he seems to have spent some time in some sort of like institute, whether it was a correctional facility or like a mental institute. That he is now on like court ordered like therapy sessions and medication and stuff like that, and like a therapist like checks in with like his work and stuff. He works in the shipping department of a bathtub factory.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a crush on a girl that he works with, not Anna Kendrick, somebody else, and accidentally murders her. Like that's literally the plot of the movie. And then he just proceeds to accidentally murder some more people as he just slowly spirals. It's both funny and weird. I honestly don't know if I liked it or not, to be honest. But like, I'm not upset I watched it.
Yeah.
It's on HBO Max though, so like, if either of you guys want to watch just a weird fucking movie with two relatively big actors in it that no one's ever heard of, give it a shot.
And honest, it's funny because it's like they're not back then in like 2013, 14. Like they were big, but not like the stars that they are now.
Well, I mean, Ryan Reynolds, he was Deadpool at that point. He had done a bunch of other stuff. That would have been like peak Anna Kendrick though, because that's post Pitch Perfect, post that George Clooney movie she did. So like that was like Academy Award era for her.
Okay, yeah. That sounds like a stupid, silly movie that I honestly wouldn't mind watching.
It ends with like the dumbest fucking musical number, but like in a dumb good way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really weird. The movie spirals as much as Ryan Reynolds' character does by the end, and that's why I said like I honestly don't know if I liked it or not, but I'm not sad I watched it. Like it's not one of those movies where like I got done, I'm like that was a waste of my time. It was at least entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Not the best movie ever, but like not awful.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm just going to just skip the question because we just rambled for like an hour and 20 minutes, and that seems like an okay show.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what this question was.
Oh no, I was just going to grab a question off of that one spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
We just we didn't. So little how the sausage is made. None of us really had time to do a whole lot, so we didn't have a whole lot of like extra like games or anything to talk about. So I just threw that on there as like if we need to fill time, like we have these random show topic questions we can throw in.
Yeah. We had quite. I had to help Eric. I had such a busy Saturday. I had to wake up at 8 o'clock, start making strombolis, then go to my brother's and help him, which still isn't done, and then come home and finish making the stromboli, and then go to my friends for their going away party. That on Saturday I was just dead and just like couldn't function.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I just had no energy for anything during this last week.
Yeah, which like I was saying earlier, I worked all weekend, so and it wasn't even. I was supposed to be on a project basically this weekend. That was just. It was my boss actually sent a message that said, "Are you to the people who sold this project? Are you guys aware this whole thing is a dumpster fire?" To just show you the level. It was a migration that apparently like was not planned for correctly. It wasn't our migration. We were basically contracted as like extra help for another company, and the company who wanted the migration did not provide the company doing it any information they needed ahead of time.
Of course.
Yeah.
So like it was just everybody was fucked. Our Saturday it was supposed to be like me and another guy from my company calling people, doing a remote reset for them like online, and then doing the same thing on Sunday. And Saturday ended up being a bunch of conference calls with these guys and with my boss, and then calling all the people we had scheduled on Saturday to basically be like, hey, sorry, this is postponed. Somebody will call you eventually. And then those people are still being called today. Like, I spent all day today at their office helping, try and, dig out of this just hole. And, oh, Jesus Christ. It was rough. It's been a rough, 4 days.
Yeah, I can get that.
Ugh. But, anyway, have either of you guys started Saga yet?
Nope.
No.
I didn't think so, you fucking slacker.
Look,
Y'all.
we've got time.
You have a week.
Be able to. Yeah, that's plenty of time to read 2 volumes of a comic.
For Drew.
No, I read comics pretty quickly, and honestly, I believe Eric owns them, so I think I might ask him if I could just borrow them.
He does own the issues. I know for a fact he at least owns the first 12, unless he has gotten rid of comics.
No, I think he should still have them, as long as they're easily gettable. Like, I don't know if they're in his back closet in his living room. That's a pain in the ass to get to or whatever. But if they're easily if he can easily get to them, I might just ask him to borrow those instead of actually reading the digital version.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if he has the first 12... Actually, let me just double-check that it is the first 12, because I know the... And there goes Kaylee barking at somebody.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, it's somebody made the grievous mistake of walking past the house.
What a moron.
Right. Sorry, I muted myself while they finished barking. Yeah, let me double check that Saga Volume 2 is the issues. I think it is. Because I think it should be up to issue 12. Why doesn't it say? Why doesn't this say? Come on, Emmett. Work with me. Okay, no, there it is. 7 through 12. Yeah. So as long as you read up, it's issues 1 through 12. I'm up to issue 3. It's very good. I forgot how good this book was. It's fucking weird, but good.
Nice.
You guys are probably going to hate it, but I think it's very good.
Nice.
But yeah,
We'll
Can't
see.
wait.
That I guess book club reminder. Next week we'll be talking about Saga Volume 1 and 2, so up to issue 12 of the 2012 Image comic by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. It's on Comixology Unlimited, and you can sign up for a free trial of that and read those 2 volumes on there, or you can go to your local comic book shop, buy the trades or something. There's an omnibus that has a bunch, the first 30 issues, I think. So, there are ways to read these comics that are pretty fucking simple.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, I guess that's a show. Do either of you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
I'm good. I don't have anything.
All right. Well, in that case, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, you can go to your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, I think, or something like that. We're on a whole bunch of platforms. You can go there, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. Those things all help a whole bunch. You can also find us on social media. We are facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. Otherwise, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you.
Bye.